Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the Gold Rush Mastermind. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And
reception's bad.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm just going to mute everybody for just a minute. If you can mute your mics, that would be cool. Let's. We've already got a party started. Hyson, can you mute your mic, please, dear? Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me because everybody should be celebrating right now because it is the Happy New Year and the happiest of New Years to you all, because as I've got a post that I'm writing right now that says, may all your dreams come true in 2022. And the reason is because I think we're heading into a wonderful time of self reflection and self empowerment. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I think people are really starting to realize that we have given far too much of our freedom away, and it's time to really step into our true essence, which is the fact that we are wonderful creators and we have so many opportunities out there now to dive into things that may light us up and things we were thinking about that might interest us, and we never took the time to do it. And now we're going, maybe now is just the time to do it. And one of those wonderful times to start looking at new things and new opportunities is what I had done just at the start of at the end of this past year of 2021, when I was introduced to this wonderful man and his partner, Danielle, my girlfriend, who introduced me to gold and silver. And as we like to call it, sound money, and also refer to it as God's money. And I just love it. It just feels good. So moving into 2022, I'm so excited to start sharing more about the power of God's money, gold and silver, with all of you, and start empowering us towards a new type of wealth strategy, which was not a new type of wealth strategy for the wealthy or the banks or the governments. But it was a little secret they kept from all of us. But no more is it a secret. And we have a wonderful company that is giving the average person the opportunity not just to understand it more, but to really get to expand into their wealth strategy portfolio. So we have talked about this for a while. For those of you who have joined me, we have talked about this for a while. We've talked about a good defense. And now we're going to talk about an offense. And as my post said earlier, it's not football. And I brought in just the man for that, my dear friend, Mark. So thank you, Mark, for joining us. I'm super excited because I think I've got everybody all revved up about a part of this company, 7K Metals, that we have joined as a member to give us access to many different types of gold and silver, whether it's bullions or bars or, whatever it may be. And of course, our sovereign American Eagles and Canadians and all kinds of things. But we have an opportunity here of something I never thought of exploring at all, which was the world of collectibles, which is very odd because myself, Tony Taylor, I am a collector, but I never thought about it in the world of gold and silver, which is really interesting. So if you could just give us a little background on how you got into it, and then I thought we would kind of traverse from people who do know a little bit about the defensive part and move into a little bit of the collectibles, because you weren't that interested either. Am I right? Until you learned a little bit more like I did.
I mean, we only wanted the ounces because that's how we had heard, don't get collectibles because you'll lose money on them. And that's what even here a lot of these top financial people say. And first off, let me say thanks for having me on too. I appreciate giving me the opportunity to share this with everybody. I think the thing that opens the door for everybody is the defensive posture, like you said. And if you don't mind, if I can just share my screen, because I want everybody to really understand, if you really get the value of gold and silver, and then we can transition that over to the fact that right now, the ounces and the price per ounce in each, in my opinion, are both artificially being held back, in particular in silver. And then you add that on to what the collectibles have in not only their collectible aspect, but the price per ounce. You're looking at collectibles that can do very, very well down the road. So let me share this with everybody because I think this is important. And when we all see the facts about it, it tends to make a lot of sense. So I'm going to show this right here because this really shows the purchasing power of gold and silver. This slide blew me away. And I'm not an expert on gold and silver like Tony was saying. I've learned it over time through the membership primarily, but I never was into the collectibles at all. I mean, we had zero interest in that. We were primarily looking at, we want to preserve our money because our money in our bank account was earning nothing. We were paying extra money to have an interest-bearing account. And we weren't earning anything. We were earning less than what we were paying. It's a joke. We're going backwards. Yet if you take a look at what's happening with inflation, it's all skyrocketing. And that's why we all need that defensive posture. I want to show this because if you look in 2001, you could buy a single house for either $169,000 or 626 ounces of gold. But if you fast forward 20 years to this year, you could buy for 579 ounces of gold, which is less gold than in 2001. You could buy 3 houses, each worth 347,000 each. Now imagine if you've been converting your cash into gold and silver. It simply would make sense that you'd have a lot more right now in terms of your buying power and your purchasing power than you do right now in what all of us have been using for cash. Now that's important to establish that. The thing is with the collectibles, everybody, and so you want to get your ounces. This is what we were doing. But as I said, a lot of times it's artificially being suppressed. It would, if we looked at what the price per ounce of silver should be, when you look at supply and demand, it should be way higher than what it's at right now. I mean, literally into the thousands of dollars per ounce is what it should be, but it's being held back and suppressed. It's an industrial metal, meaning that most of the countries out there are using this for such things as building solar panels and computers, things like that. So when you have a need there, now you have the average person buying silver and gold, it makes a lot of sense. So it gives you this foundation. However, what can help you to earn money in the time that we're waiting for those ounces to go up? And that's in the idea of collectibles. Now, collectibles, again, like Tony was saying, I had no interest in this. I mean, I collect things. I collected movies, believe it or not, DVDs. And it's like, what did that do? I got nothing to show for it, except I just blew all that money. And now I don't even like Hollywood. So what's the point? It's just a big waste of money. But then when I saw this, it's like, okay, I'll just transition from that over to this. That way I still have my spending that I want to go out there and do on something to collect, but I'm doing it with something of value. This is to give everybody an example of collectibles. Collectibles are not so much about, because I have people all the time saying, oh, well, you know what? I can get the price per ounce of silver for this. Why would I pay, this extra amount of money for that in a case? And it's kind of like looking at it this way. If I went back in time and had a 1965 Mustang and I'd been driving it around, it's got 200,000 miles on it, or I have another one that's been sitting in my garage in pristine condition and is working excellently, the one that's in pristine condition is obviously going to have an increase in value way more than what I paid for it at the very beginning. However, the other Mustang that was basically just a Mustang, kind of like what we're looking at when we're looking at price per ounce of silver or collectibles, a lot of times what we'll find is that, again, it's like comparing apples to oranges, because there are emotions attached to collectibles. And this is one thing that I can seriously point out well over a dozen people that I know personally that had zero interest in collectibles, but now that when they start seeing a new coin release, they're jumping all over it, and we're seeing appreciation of that. So to give you an example, this is 1962. This is when this was released. This was Spider-Man original comic book, 12 cents. And if you take a look at the paper that it's printed on, it's probably not worth more than a couple of bucks. But this magazine or this comic book sold in 2021 for $3.6 million. And basically, it was in good condition. They kept it in good condition, like we've talked about. It's the rarity of the magazine. It's the design, it's the story, and it's the significance behind it. When people have the money, they want these collectibles. And that's something that, again, so many people pass over, but it's a big, big aspect and it can really help to build a strong, really kind of a strong portfolio for you with these two. So this is like what Tony was referring to, and I'm going to point out the value of the collectibles on the left here in a second, but if you take a look at what the wealthy and the elite are collecting, this is what Tony was referring to. It's exclusive real estate, then it's fine art. The third thing they're investing in are rare coins. Rare coins, again, being something that's in pristine condition, something that doesn't have a lot of mintage to it. And then you can see number 4 is gold, and number 5 is usable precious metals. So 3 out of the 5 are things that people can get through 7K. However, the elite usually blocks people out from getting into this field. You don't see the average person usually being in coin collecting. It gets very expensive. And I will tell you that many of the coins I've seen in this marketplace cannot even compare to some of the things that 7K themselves as a company are minting, all of which are currencies of sovereign nations, which helps protect in both confiscation and taxation in many areas. But look at these. This is the Mickey Mantle rookie card. That sold for $5.2 million this year. That's a piece of cardboard. You know, it's obviously in pristine condition, but again, it's the rarity and the value of that. Then you have the postage stamp here that sold for 1.6 million. The Boba Fett action figure. I had the action figures from before Boba Fett was even in Star Wars. I didn't know they were any good. I mean, I took them out. I played with them as a kid. You know, here I am 12, and I got these little Star Wars action figures and stuff like that. If I had known, we would have gotten multiple of those figures and just kept them encased like this. Look at this thing. It's $150,000 for this Boba Fett action figure, sold in 2016. And you could buy those back in my day for a really inexpensive price. Actually, let me show you this, because this is the last thing I want to show you. This slide right here. These are what some of the collectibles have done. So this one here, the Julius Caesar one, this is a unique coin minted by 7K Metals. Tony's holding one of the Roman set up. This is an entire set of 12 coins, 500 mintage each. Beautiful coins. But you can see with that Julius Caesar one, that was released March 15th. That was the anniversary of Julius Caesar's death. That was when they released that coin. And that coin is currently selling for double what we paid for it back in March 15th. That is, all of our Roman coins have increased in value from the second that we got them. They sold out literally within minutes, every one of them. This Montana butterfly was the very first collectible that Danielle and myself, we ever got. It's one of our autosavers. It just came as part of our autosaver program. This coin came in December of 2020. We paid $139 for it. Right now, you cannot buy that for less than $700. And this, I mean, you take a look at what our investments were. We leave that money sitting in the bank with fiat currency that they're printing more and more of, that's dropping in value and purchasing power every day. Or we go out there and we buy the ounces, but we also maybe get into the collectibles aspect. So we've got something that's appreciating in value now, and we can't make any guarantees on what coins are going to do in the future. But they will educate you on what to look for rarity. They'll educate you on what to look for regarding making sure it's in mint condition. Danielle and myself, we went to, I'll tell you this story real quickly. It's the $1.2 million mistake, which is now actually the $1.6 million mistake. If you hadn't been investing in a Silver Eagle, an MS-70 Silver Eagle, perfect condition Eagle, since 1985, the year I graduated high school, okay, and you bought one every month up until I think it was the year 2020 or something like that. That coin collection, you would have invested a total amount. Now, if you've been looking at the price per ounce of silver, it would have been a decent return. But if you take a look at what you'd actually been buying these for the price per ounce at the time of what those Silver Eagles were selling for, that collection, which you would have spent 40 to 50,000 on, would be worth 1.2 million today. The reason why, the rarity of the perfect condition coin. You can find a million Silver Eagles out there floating around, but to have one in perfect condition, especially in some of these years when there weren't many minted, the people who are out there who are collectors want those. And that's where the value of these collector coins can really come into play. So that's why what we're doing, in our company, we've got an autosaver program. That Montana butterfly, that was just automatically sent to us, just part of our autosaver that, hey, I want that series. And they sent us every month, we were getting a state animal series on a silver coin. And we weren't even thinking about it. But by doing that, we got a coin that is appreciated more than 4 times what we paid for it already in a year. And so, again, I can't predict what will happen, but I'll tell you, it's made this business so that what we're doing is fun. we made the process of saving for our future fun, which is great. You know, if we're just looking at the price per ounce, it's boring doing, okay, what's price per ounce today? Okay. But when you're getting these show up at your doorstep, we had 2 show up today. Look at these beautiful coins. This was a George Washington, excuse me, George Washington Old Glory coin. This is a 1 ounce silver coin. George Washington, the founder of the US, and that's when he's commissioning, sitting there with Betsy Ross and commissioning our flag. So that's that one there. And that's one of a series of 6 half-ounce coins of George Washington's past life. And then he's got this a beautiful, amazing 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 5 ounce that are going to be released. Matter of fact, I think we should show some of those here in just a second, just so everybody can see the quality of these coins, because it's more than just, oh, it's a nice coin. It's got story behind it, it's got emotion behind it.
Well, and that's what I love about it, Mark, is, you know, what I find fascinating about the whole collectibles thing, because I was like you, and actually a lot of people who are starting to really look at gold and silver, it seems that there's a very common thread there about, no, why do I want that? I don't want that. Just give me the gold. That's all I want, you know? And I'm kind of going, yep, I hear you, because I was in the exact same spot, right? But as soon as you find out, you know, as soon as you start to learn, which is what I love about 7K's buyer certification, as soon as you start to learn, you know, what type of an investor you are, because people keep asking me now that I'm getting into it, oh, what should I buy? What should I said, I would do you a disservice, you know, guiding you into a direction if I don't really know what type of an investor you are. First of all, I'm not a financial, you know, advisor. I only know what I like and who the type of investor I am. And I also don't know that much about tax. You know, I'm not a tax accountant, but I understand, since going through the program, if you're looking at the tax part, there's a huge program and understanding behind that of how you want to diversify as well. And so for me, once I took the program, once I got into the membership and I really took the time to do the certification, the buyer certification, it was like my whole mind just blew open going, wow, I've really missed the boat on all this, because it turns out I'm all 5. You know, I'm hedging against, you know, economic collapse, poor government decisions. Okay. We all know that that is absolutely possible because we've seen it happen. That's proven. And then that's the direction we're going. You just showed it perfectly and seamlessly through that whole inflation of all the printing of the money. You know, I'm also in the category of accumulation. I'm into protection. I'm into diversification. And I want wealth legacy, exactly what you just showed, you know? And so it's interesting when people say, oh, I don't want to do those collectibles. Well, just so you all know, everybody, I'm also a digital asset girl. I'm a crypto girl. And what's really hot right now? NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Does everybody know what that is? Those are collectibles in a virtual world, a little pixel you're buying into like, so when people say, oh, you know, why would I want that? Why would I want this beautiful, you know, this beautiful coin of Ben Franklin? I'm just kind of going, I can touch that and I can hold it. And it is a beautiful piece of art. It's incredible. And the story behind it is phenomenal. So I'm not saying not to get into digital assets. Again, it's about diversification. I've just learned what type of an investor I am, and I want to diversify into all avenues. It's called hedging your bets in your wealth strategy, you know, for your future. So I love it when I'm talking to people who are also into the crypto world, because then all of a sudden it kind of pings in their head now, Mark, going, oh, so these collectibles are actually really tangible compared to the NFT, right? There's not even really a story behind some of the NFT. They're just randomly just throwing stuff out there, right? So I just love that we can have this, you know, this opportunity to learn so much more. And it's been fun. Like you said, I'm like a little kid in the candy store. It's like Christmas every day at my door, practically. FedEx man showing up. He's going, you got another one. I went, yay. It's crazy, right? You get so excited.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. you mind if I share a couple of the coins I brought out here?
Please do. Yes,
Okay, I'll just show you a
please.
couple of things here
Your
that we have.
collection is exquisite.
Oh, it's been fun. Okay, so the first one I'll show you our small ones first. This is our company 5-year anniversary coin. And that right there that's actually a currency of Tanzania. It's 1,000 shillings. That's the door of the restaurant where they got together and they came up with the concept of our company. That little piece of wood you see over here, that's a piece of wood from the doorway of our of the restaurant. And so this is to give you an idea on the back. That's the back of it. So not many companies, and you've really got to be you got to go through a lot of red tape and a lot of rigorous regulatory agencies to be able to mint currencies yourself. And that's very strong, showing again a little bit more of the credibility of the company. Here's a Marcus Aurelius. This is like Tony was showing, part of that Roman series. These are gorgeous, and you can see the high relief a little bit. It's hard if I turn it. That comes off the coin considerably. It is a gorgeous coin. Don't take these out of the plastic, by the way. Keep them in the plastic. That's what keeps their value.
Well, can you tell everybody how they came up with the design for all the Roman coins, Mark?
Well, they found the actual Roman coins, and they were in this jug or some tunnel somewhere over there. And what they did was they just made absolute replicas of those coins. And so they took all 12 and they tell the story behind it, the story behind every coin that they released that they mint. I'll tell you what, you watch that and you're like, I want it. And Kash, I'll get to your question in just 1 second. Let me just show a couple more of these and then I'll show one quick video and we'll be happy to answer whatever your question is. This is a fighter pilot coin. Now we got reflection, and I wish we didn't because this coin is stunning. This right here, if you see the detail on that, I mean, right down to the air hose that's coming out, you can see every single ridge on the air hose. It's amazing detail. Here's a Mount Kilimanjaro. That's an actual aerial of Mount Kilimanjaro, and then they created a coin right down to the specific detail on that. And that's part of a series of different, something like the top 7 mountains or something like that. This is a coin that is our Milky Way. So that is actually a coin. Again, that comes off the coin. On the back, you see a little bit of that.
I do. It's really unfortunate because I love the way they do their videos because they rotate the coins,
Yeah.
you know, the whole
Me showing it this way doesn't
thing.
do any justice.
Yeah, and what's really, because it's not like getting like an American Eagle like this where there's just a little bit of ridging. Like we're talking really high reliefs, like, you know, 3 levels, and now I heard that they're going to like 7 moving forward.
I have no doubt. They're a very, very innovative company. And I'll give you an example. One of the mints that we actually mint some of our coins through somewhere in Europe, I don't remember which one specifically, but they just did $18 million of renovations from their own money because of the different just programs and coins that we're going to be minting through there and the quality of that. So these are going to be the highest quality collectibles in the world, and that's going to have a unique niche in this marketplace. This is a gold note, perfect freedom note. That's the very first gold note we got. Is
that the one with Tom Holden, that famous global stained glass guy?
Yep.
Oh, I love stained glass. So, oh my gosh, that's
so
incredible.
What they did, everybody, you should go and check this out. They've got a beautiful called Roots of Humanity. We were able to visit it when we were in Salt Lake City. I mean, this is gorgeous. This is 12 years of the history of the world through stained glass. And I mean, it is this huge room, and it's so many of these different pillars. And what they did was this just kind of shows some of the 7 pillars of humanity. And they put it onto a gold note. And this one here is freedom. And on the back, there's a little bit of more information on there for it. But I mean, these are stunning. And if I could, and then Kash, Kash, you have a question real quick, and then I'll play that video.
Actually, I wanted to tell you guys something about those coins. So as I mentioned before on one of the calls, that buying those coins, it's like buying, you know, Mona Lisa or some other piece of art. And why I'm saying that, you know, people really don't know how much work and what unique artist has to create those coins. It's way easier to create a 3D sculpture. I graduate from art school as a wood carver. So to make a flat, picture, it's difficult to show the dimensions. And then when you create this something that is so small, and if in the very, very low deepness, you have to show that dimension, that skill, there are not too many artists around the world that they can actually perform this kind of art. So you are really collecting art in, locked in coins. So this is not average, penny. It's not average coin. It's really a beautiful piece of art. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. Nothing more powerful than a testimonial from someone who's experienced it.
Yeah,
And
Kasha's an amazing artist. She's very creative, so she really appreciates the details and the depth in some of these collectibles. She's just going, wow. She goes, I had no idea. She was like all of us. I just need the gold and silver. And then she goes, well, tell me a little bit about the collectible again. I said, they're so cool. I never thought I would collect either, but now I'm so addicted. I just so appreciate it,
It is. It's the best thing that we've done. It's helped us, the savings that we've had. And I will tell you, at least in the US, if you're doing some of these, there are some very good tax advantages that can come along with that. Like, for example, we get some of these multiple coins, and then we're going to sell some of those coins through our platform that we have. And this now becomes a business of its own, the collecting of coins and the selling of their coins. And so some of your coins that you're actually getting can be written off as inventory that you're getting from these collectibles. And so it's a powerful way. There's a lot of different advantages of that. Now, I did want to show, just because when they roll out a coin, their branding is unbelievable. And I wanted to show maybe one or two videos. Tony, do you think the Pearl Harbor be a good one? Now,
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you. And for those people who might not be familiar with it, Pearl Harbor was a big moment in American history. Actually drew the Americans into World War II. And I'm going to show you what they did was we went out to Salt Lake City just before December 7th, which was obviously the anniversary of that date. And there was a large Hawaii team with our company that had actually is doing extremely well. They were going to do the event in Hawaii, but they couldn't because of what's going on. So they did it in Salt Lake. And they released these coins. And when they released this, and this is just to give you an idea of the story behind every one of the coins when they release them, there's thought behind it. There's story behind it. And that makes it even more powerful. Kasha, have you seen this? The Pearl Harbor? You haven't seen this? Oh, you're going to love this. Okay, check this out, everybody. This is, I think this is absolutely amazing. So let me show you this.
She was christened on June 19th, 1915, in Brooklyn, New York. Esther Ross, a 17-year-old girl from Prescott, Arizona, performed the ceremony with a bottle of water from Arizona's Lake Roosevelt. Prohibitionists made sure the girl followed law over tradition. Her name? The USS Arizona. The moment of the great battleship's birth was one of triumph and celebration. This was the largest warship ever built, a ship to defeat all of America's enemies. As she sailed from the waters of New York's East River into the mighty Atlantic Ocean, her future seemed as strong and bright as the nation that created her. December 7th, 1941. On a warm and sunny Sunday morning in the paradise of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, the USS Arizona sat docked among her fellow battleships, preparing to host church services on her pristine decks. That's when the world exploded.
Coming literally out of the clear blue sky, bomber planes descended on the harbor, raining down death and destruction on the U.S. fleet and its sailors. An anti-aircraft gunner on the USS Arizona, Lauren Bruner, was nearly to his battle station amidst the attack on the Arizona when he was shot twice in the leg. The pilot circled around to begin his next attack, and Lauren watched the fatal 1,700-pound bomb when it dropped 20 feet from where he was stationed, right into the number 2 turret beneath, igniting the powder magazine, instantly killing his best friend, Billy, stationed there. Lauren was stranded on the broken husk of the USS Arizona with 5 of his crewmates, while fires licked and snapped at their bodies from all around. A crew of a small repair ship docked on the side of the battleship spotted them and threw the end of a rope to them, creating a line from the doomed ship to the small savior. Lauren was second to last to cross that 100-foot line. He did it with 2 bullet wounds in his leg and burns across 70% of his body. Less than 1 hour and 15 minutes later, the USS Arizona and her comrades were a smoking, smoldering ruin. The great battleship that was the pride of the U.S. naval fleet was no more, having never fought a single battle. December 7th, 2021. 80 years later, and the Arizona still sits in the place where she was buried, with the distant memories of the frightful day drawn to the forefront as people visit the ever-living memorial it has become. It now stands as a place of resilience, love, and solemnity, a reminder of hope to the human spirit that things can be better and that we have more in common than we have differences. There are only 2 remaining survivors of the attack on Pearl Harbor that live today, and they both have stories to tell, stories we would consider heroic. Their heroism and the courage of their fellow sailors must never be forgotten. Introducing a 3-coin commemorative series from 7K Metals and designed by Miles Standish. The USS Arizona.
All right, so that's just to give you an idea about, I mean, that they're incredible. Every one of the Roman series coins that they released, they told the story behind every single one of those particular emperors or whatever they might have been. And I mean, it's just unbelievable. The education that we've learned just historically through these coins has been amazing. So that's to kind of give you an idea. And Tony, I know that you held that up before, but do you have your 1 ounce Arizona right there?
I do. Hang on. Where did it? Here. There she is. That's the girl. And then that's the Arizona.
I love that coin.
And so do I. I can't wait to get the anchor. I'm so excited because I know it's coming in the new year. So
Yes.
really excited to get the anchor.
And that one's still available to everybody. So if anybody wants that one, it's a good one.
Hey, Mark, I have actually a question, because I know for the fiat money, there is a few Polish artists that they create a design for the money for the money for all of the countries from all over the world. So my question is, if you can ask around if there are any actually Polish artists making those coins. I would love to know that.
I can. I don't know who to ask specifically because I don't know who deals with that at the corporate. I do know they take in, they're always looking for, people who design coins. They've taken on new artists, such as this Tom Holden. That's one. So if you know someone who's got that and they've got coins they design, I'd contact someone at corporate. I don't know who I would ask about that, Kasha, because I just know.
Okay, it's okay. Well, maybe someday, maybe 1 year from now or somewhere, you will have opportunity to ask that question. And I would, honestly, I would love to focus on buying those coins that they were made by Polish artists.
That's a great point. You know what they are going to do, and I'm glad you brought that up. The company's very innovative. So right now, what you see a lot of the collector coins with U.S. history, but that's primarily, everybody, because this is a base of our company primarily right now. As they expand into other countries, and this is going to be right up your alley, Kasha, they're going to look to bring in coins that are relevant to that country. Whether they're designed by someone within that country, I don't know about that, but it's going to be probably coin designs that are going to be specific to different events within that country's history.
That actually wouldn't surprise me. Sorry to interrupt. That actually wouldn't surprise me, because one of the things that's actually happening in antiquities, because I'm a big antique, I collect a lot of antiques, and the one thing that is very important to a lot of different countries is they're going around the world and taking back what was stolen from them. So they're actually trying to build back their history again in their own countries. And I think that's exactly what's going to have to we can probably look at when it comes to these coins. This opportunity as we open a new country, maybe, we're maybe presenting a new coin. I don't know what the company has in mind, but they are so open to ideas. That's the other thing that I love about 7K Metals. The communication between the members and the founders and the whole staff is, bar none, probably one of the best I've experienced in all my years in business. I can't say enough about that, Mark. It is such a key point that I've learned finally over the years, be able to have that direct communication and really see the vision of where the founders want to go and where the company is going. And their whole focus is just on the members. That's all they talk about. How can we make this better? What can we do for our members? What are we hearing in the field? Like, it's wonderful. It's a really nice thing, because I know, a lot of times it was used to be just kind of like lip service in a lot of companies, but that is their focus. That is their primary focus, is to make this truly a legacy company. So I'm really excited to be part of this. And that's exactly why I stepped up into being, the concierge, so to speak, in the Noble Goldman community, because I'm absolutely passionate about getting people empowered to understand that even if you just a little bit of gold and silver in your portfolio is just a must. It's just a must moving forward into our new world. And besides that, how can you go wrong with God's money? It never goes down in value.
I have a comment about something. So there is a Polish coin, we can say it this way, because there is a coin with John Paul II. And I would like to tell you guys, if you have people from America, Poland, Europe, wherever, that they are super religious, Catholic, like people in Mexico and Poland, starting conversation with that collection of those 3 coins of those popes, for them, it's like, ooh, maybe they don't want to do the whole business, but they might want to have those 3 coins.
Good point.
Mark, that's why we have our product page.
Yes.
Right? Everybody that's a member has their own, call it like a Shopify page. You have your own website to direct people that they can buy directly from you, which is cool.
Yeah, and do me a favor, Tony, if you can go to the other Mark and Danielle and give that co-host as well.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. I want to show you something else that will show you the value of what these coins are doing. It's the stack and sell, but I have to show it using my phone. So let me see if I can bring this up here, because I'm on here. I just need to.
Does anybody have any other questions or anything like that? I hope you enjoyed that. I'm just loving these collections. I'm just really, like you said, I think it's the story more than anything. The way they've condensed it into almost like a Cole's Notes, so to speak. They've really done a fabulous job, dialing in and focusing on the beauty of the whole story. It's what a great way to help, if we're going to start homeschooling kids here. So what a wonderful way to be able to introduce history. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just show everybody this. This is with our membership, you're also going to get this thing called stack and sell, because they want this to be turnkey, because some people want to sell their coins, but you always have an issue of safety, security, fraud. You want to make sure it's all done legitimately. So this is to give you an idea. This is a stack. This is our stack, Danielle's and mine. This is, you just simply scan your coin and it goes into your stack. Now, once it's in there, you're going to be able to see what you paid for that coin and then what its appraised value is at the time. And obviously we can't make any predictions on any coin. I'll just show you these two. These are at the top. You got the Miss Liberty. We paid $1.99 for this coin. And matter of fact, they just released one this morning as part of our end of the month vault dump. And the market value of that coin is at over $575. So this is a coin that was released in November of 2020. And you can see what that coin has done in terms of its market value. Now, if I wanted to click list for sale, I click on this, and then literally I put in what my asking price is for that particular coin. I can see what other people who have that coin are asking for theirs. Then I can put my price in and then click submit. If someone buys my coin from the stack, from our marketplace, I would then send my coin to Stack and Sell, where they would have an expert authenticate the coin and then mail it to the person who bought it. So this is a great way to be able to do it. And again, you get a chance to see what the appreciation of these coins can actually be. This is the 2 ounce. Look at this one, $2.99. Again, in November of 2020, market value of that coin is over $1,400. Now, here's the thing. This is the thing I want to share with everybody. If we had just been taking our money and putting it into the ounces, we'd be happy because we'll have silver and we'll probably have more ounces for our money than what we have, but we would not have this sort of appreciation for what our money is that we put into it. That's why it's a good idea to have both offense and defense when you're dealing with gold and silver and precious metals. You're tapping into something that is it's in something that the elites out there are doing, and they're doing it. It's a very, very popular thing amongst them. And I'm going to stop sharing now if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. But it gives us a chance to be able to take part in something that has always shown an appreciation and value from that. So we're thrilled. And if it's for anybody out there, we're happy to coach you, show you how it works, and make it turnkey. So you don't have to put your focus on it. Make it so it just goes. I will say this regarding Tony's position with Noble Goldman. I know there's a lot of folks who have, and we're with them as well. And there's a lot of people who have their own businesses and they don't want to distract their attention from their business. I would say this, that's like great. Keep your focus where you need to keep your focus, but position yourself so that the money that you're working for in your business is not a depreciating piece of paper that's really falling with every currency around the world. Take that money, put it into something that's going to become an appreciable asset, and even both on the offensive defensive side, and just make this machine run on its own. We have a health and wellness business. We point people to this because it doesn't conflict at all. And every single person out there needs to know about gold and silver. They don't know. I ran into a good friend of mine at church just the other day, and she's like, "What are you doing now?" And I'm like, "Well, we're in gold and silver." And she goes, "What do you mean, like jewelry?" That's people's thoughts. It's like jewelry. It's like, no, it's actual physical metals and the ounces and the different things. And the education we've learned has been amazing. So, we're happy to help everybody. And I think that it's just really kind of creating a community of like-minded people who are protecting what we work so hard for, and helping other people to do the same. And
Well, you and Danielle have been awesome
so have you, Tony.
mentors. You guys have been awesome mentors. I've learned so much. And we all get something in our head thinking it's one way, because of our past experiences. And this is something we talk a lot about in our community, is that we've been so programmed that we need to unlearn what we thought to be true. And that's a big hurdle. But once you open that floodgate, it is just game over, because you're just on a whole new level. And it's so funny because I shared that with somebody the other day when, Cassius sometimes has said this, I'm very much a visual person. So of course, and a kinesthetic person. So this to me is just like a dream, right? So I really love it. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I am in digital assets, but it's not tangible to me. It's just a wealth strategy is all that it is, right? And so the story that I want to tell is that we talk about this unlearning. We really have to unlearn what we thought what wealth was, because they wanted us to think a certain way. And they completely diverted us. So when we say let go and unlearn and release, people go, oh, I wish people would stop saying that. It's not that easy. I said, well, let me give you a kinesthetic visual. I said, we're so stuck in what we believe to be true. I want you to think of yourself standing at a door, and you're so convinced that it needs to be pulled open, that you're hanging onto this door, and you're adamant that it's just stuck. So then you put your feet on the door trying to pull it open, trying to pull it open. And all you had to do was just let go for the door to open, because it's actually supposed to swing the other way. Right? So it is sometimes that simple but it doesn't happen until you're exhausted, right? And you finally go, oh, forget it, and then you go, oh, and then also it goes, bing, you're going to go, really? So when I shared that visual, both being kinesthetic and, and very visual, it just was like, ding, ding, ding. And that's what happened to me in the gold and silver world. I've been hearing about gold and silver, but like you said, Mark, to speak into it, he said, what do you mean, jewelry? Because I'm not a jewelry girl. It's very rare. I'm wearing my 2 rings that are both from my grandmother, because I do this on New Year's. And one was from Russia, by the way. This one was from Russia, this one. And which is really important to know, because this is, as you know, Russia had a collapse, and the only people who survived through the collapse were people who held precious metals and jewels. So it's the same thing. It's not going to be any different in any part of the world. As Kasha wrote in the comments, yeah, we use the paper for wallpaper now, the fiat currency for wallpaper, right? So I just am so grateful that you came on and shared this. You are so good at explaining things. I'm just honored to be part of the community, the 7K Metals community, your community. I'm just thrilled. This 2021 has been a gift of new relationships, building towards a total different future of people that I want to link arms and link hearts with. And I have found my tribe, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for believing in yourself. And now it's time to go win, and let's go play together so we can all thrive. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Happy New Year,
so much, everybody. Happy New Year. So nice meeting everyone.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Take care. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you tremendously.